What I would tell my younger self in this profession, I would say go for your dreams. Never settle for where you're at because it's comfortable. Growth only happens when you're uncomfortable. And in my 30s, when I realized that, I was at a very stable job, loved my job, but I knew that it wasn't what was in my heart. So going for that, that's just go for your dreams. There should be nothing holding you back. You should try. You should always try. Why not? I say that in the gym a lot. Why not?
Leadership is actually about empowering others to be leaders. I'm really advocating for more of observing and facilitating the growth of others than necessarily thinking like I have the pitchfork and we're heading in a different direction. People's cooperative market is a flat structure, so by definition, we're all leaders. And because we're a cooperative, one of the cooperative principles is autonomy. And so I've really learned that I don't have to be a leader everywhere, that I can use my specific gifts and talents along with, integrated with the gifts and talents of others. And we as a group are leading and make sure that other people feel empowered enough to lead.
The advice that I would give a young woman going into leadership would be to make space for yourself. Leadership is something that can become all-consuming. It can become an obligation and a responsibility much the same way that more traditional roles for women like motherhood can. And when you're a leader, you are a mother in some ways. You are like a lot of times founding an idea or a movement or an organization. And it's a huge responsibility. So make sure if you're stepping into a leadership position that that's a position you want and that you feel passionate about and that you can really give your best self to.
The advice I would give a young woman going into leadership for the first time, I think I would say two things. The first is to get comfortable being uncomfortable on your own terms, meaning put yourself at tables you don't feel like you should be at and take risks. And you'll be surprised by what you learn and what people will learn from you. And then secondly, I would probably use a phrase that my mentor and best friend now, Jack, told me a while ago in my career, is that you don't really need to ask permission, you can ask for forgiveness. And I say that, obviously when you're working with integrity, because there's a lot of decisions you have to make as a leader, a lot of actions you have to take, and you just need to be confident in the choices that you're making and know that you can deal with whatever outcomes there are.
My advice for someone just getting into leadership is treat your employees the way you want to be treated. Your staff looks to you to lead them, and if you're not leading by example, then they're doing their own thing and they're not a team. So I think by leading by example, you're gathering everyone together for a consensus and making the right decision. I pick up trash, whatever I gotta do, I do, but I think you have to do that in order to be a good leader, because if you're not doing it and you're expecting someone else to do it, then why are they gonna do it? So lead by example.
Find other women. There's a sense that competition is an internal assumption, but it's actually external, that we need to be in competition. I work with women all the time. I went to a women's college. And I've yet to see competition win out. All I've seen is more women putting each other on their shoulders, making ridiculous sacrifices, and placing themselves in a position to be supportive. Scaffolding is what I used to talk about a lot, like how we scaffold each other.
You clap for everyone else first. You build everybody up around you because you're only as strong as your team is. And so my biggest goal, and they know it at Fit 812 that, positivity is the only thing allowed in the gym, but making sure whatever journey that you're on, you are clapping for everybody else. If you're struggling, you're still clapping for people. If you're on the top, you're still clapping for people. And when you find that balance and it's not always me, 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 then your life changes. Leadership is more about serving the people that are there for you. And so when you give your heart and soul to them and you listen and you really want them to succeed, you give them all of your knowledge, you give them every ounce that you know, that you have learned, all the tricks of the trade, that's what makes you a successful leader, is to allow them to be just as successful as you.
giving them the empowerment to do their job, so not micromanaging them. So letting them make the decision, backing that decision even if you don't think it's right, and then discussing later, what would you have liked to see different, or asking them, what could you have done different to make that situation better? So today's a good example. We have 30 different events. Could I get in there and do it because I think I can do it better? Sure. But if I don't let them do it, then I'm taking that away from them. I'm taking the empowerment away from them. So I don't go double check their work. I'm gonna trust that they're doing what they need to do to be successful. And then if something fails, we're gonna talk about how could we have done that better in the future. But I think if I go behind them and check them, then I'm not giving them that empowerment, and then it just totally negated what I want them to grow from.
In order to nurture someone, it's really an investment of time. Getting to know them, getting to understand what motivates them, how to communicate with them, all of that I think really drives the relationship, and then gives them the space to make mistakes and learn from them and just get better as they go.
If I have a life motto, it's probably a 311 lyric, stay positive and love your life. I think that life is all about how we perceive it, and if you can put a positive spin on something, a lot of times you can find a solution where other people will only see a problem.
I would like to thank Stephanie and Bryn from the cancer support community here in Bloomington. They nominated me, and I'm really appreciative of all that they do for me and then all I can do for other cancer patients.
I would like to thank my mom, who raised me to be a woman that others find value in. And then I would definitely say Jason, my boss at JBI, who has given me more opportunities than I can even imagine with my career. And then finally those who nominated me, which was the biggest surprise ever, Marissa, Erica, Andrea, and Seth. They are my forever cheerleaders, and I'm just a better person with them in my life.
Of course, I want to thank some of the teachers that I had even before I was a farmer. My third grade teacher who told me I was brilliant, and I believed her, so that helped. And then Jane Cooper Smith, because she'd be holding it down every time. She's like, Lauren. Like, she'll be in rooms and be like, it's Lauren. It's People's Market. But also, I'd really like to thank those people who continue to support People's Market, people who continue to donate kind of anonymously. They don't really want any virtue signaling. They don't really want people to know. I think it's super significant that we've set up a system where people can buy food directly. Like, they can purchase their own food and purchase food for others in the same breath. I have to thank my husband. I mean, he puts up with me buying all these animals and taking care of them for me. I have to really thank my son Jasper, because he is able to articulate some of the ridiculous things that adults think matter so much when they really don't. And then I have to thank myself, because I had no idea that this journey would be so transformational. It's interesting how you continue to say yes to work, not knowing necessarily the outcome, but it's feeling more and more as if Monroe County, at the very least, is able to feel a sense of food system authority. Like, they have some sort of impact and influence on what food we're producing, who's it going to, and how we can reduce the 1 in 6 Hoosiers who are hungry.
I would like to thank Allison Van Doren, my nominator. I would really love to thank Dr. Valerie Strunk, my professional mentor and friend. And I'd like to thank my friend and client, Jennifer Burns, for always being so supportive and being here for me for the last couple of really difficult years.
I would like to thank for this honor, first and foremost, God, that He gave me these gifts. I feel very fortunate that I am able to portray everything that He has given me, and that I love it so much, and He has allowed me to have the knowledge and gain the knowledge to share my passion. Secondly, and I'll try not to get emotional, is my husband, Aaron White. Fit 812 would 100% not be what it is without him. I would also love to thank my parents, my dad. I'm thankful for my mom that pushed me to do the things that I loved, it would have been very easy for them to not want to take me to dance class 6 nights a week, all day, go to dance competitions every weekend, travel. It would have been very easy for them to say no, but they knew that this is what I wanted to do, and I'm so thankful that they did, because that's why I'm where I'm at now. I also want to thank my Fit 812 family. Again, I had no idea that they were nominating me for this, and to watch all of these people succeed and love the product that I'm producing and feel the passion, and then I see the passion in them, that's what makes us tick, and that's what makes the community what it is. So I'm really thankful for every single one of those people.